Welcome to my music room. This is Chris Cox for another Kiss guitar lesson. Today we're going to cover Creatures of the Night. This song has eluded me for years. It's intimidated me as well, but I finally broke down and hammered it out, and I want to share it with you guys. Great song, hard song for me to play. But so if I fumble around a little bit with this, forgive me. I'll try to keep it as clean as possible. So this song is tuned in standard if you want to play along with the record or the video. So we're going to start off with the introduction, which sounds like a pick scrape right after the drum fill. And we're basically starting on an F5 or F power chord, which is 8th fret of the A, 10th fret of the D. And then we're going to shift to a G5 or a G power chord. So we have this is all just the rhythm parts. So we're just shifting back and forth from the F to the G. And the last time through, we shift from the G to the D sharp, which is going to be 6th fret of the A and 8th fret of the D. So it sounds like this. So that's our chords for the first part. F5, G5, D sharp 5. Let's play this slowly. There's a lead guitar part of this. I'll show you that in a little bit. D sharp, back to F, back to G, and then we go finish on the D sharp and F. And that's just a down, down, and then we're going to be shifting to the low E on the 3rd fret, which is a G note. That's the part where we're playing the 16th notes pattern. So we have. So this is where the first verse is. Okay, so that part, you want to, first finger on the 3rd fret of the low E, you want to make sure that you're muting with your palm down here at the bridge. If your palm's too far back, it's going to sound like this. Pretty gnarly sounding. So as you barely touch the string with the side of your hand, so this part of your hand, you get a. I would get used to that, kind of laying your hand there, because that helps you control string noises, that palm. So as we're doing this, we're doing a 16th note pattern, so it's just down, up. And then we play this little fill. Let me get over that. That fill drove me crazy on this song, but I love it. But it's just tricky to play from a 16th note pattern and be able to go right into that. So that'll be the challenge. But it starts on the 7th fret of the G and 5th fret of the G. So we have, and we're going to shift to the D string. We're going to play 8, 7, 5. So it's 8th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret. So we have this. Should note, guys, make sure when you're doing this it's down, up picking. So it's down, up, down, up, down. It's efficiency of movement. It'll help you play cleaner and play faster. So once we get that, we repeat back to the G. And from there we're going G, 5th fret of the G on the D string, F note on the 8th fret of the A, 5th fret, D note on the 5th fret of the A. So we have, so we'll play what we have so far. Play it slower. And then we play this. So it's. So when we come from here, 5th fret of the A, 8th fret of the low E, 6th fret of the low E, 5th fret of the low E, and back to 6th fret of the low E, which is an A sharp. So we have I should probably say there's a little pause there too, so you don't just play that straight, you go. So it's a little bit of a pause there. I'm going to play a little slower for you, try to keep it in time. And then from there we're going to this power chord. We're going to grab the 8th fret with the 3rd finger on the 8th fret of the D and G, so we got back to the G note on the low E, 3rd fret. And we go back in, that's kind of the little cue to go back into the second part of the verse. So we're back to D sharp, back to F, back to here. Again, 16th note pattern. So when I do that, you want to grab that 8th fret here on the D and G string. That's like a perfect 4th. And then you can grab the 6th fret of the A string, which you get the play the 16th notes. I'm going to play that through slowly again. This is, to me, this is one of the trickiest part of the song. So we're going. Then it goes back and repeats again. So we're in the second part. This is right before the chorus. So we do this 16th note pattern. So that's D sharp, and then you're doing a slide from F to G. So you can see I'm just striking that chord once and I'm sliding into the G5. And then back to the F. Okay, let's play that again. I think in there it's like a little, drag on the low with your fingers, kind of slide into the D sharp. Now from here we're holding out. This is the chorus. We're going to go back down to G, but this time we're going to play a G minor. G minor is going to be 1st fret on the 10th fret of the A string. 3rd finger is going to be on the 12th fret of the D. Pinky fingers on the 12th fret of the G, and then your middle fingers down here on the B string on the 11th fret. So you have this. So from there, we're doing that again in a 16th note pattern. Then we go back into D sharp, down, back to F, holding. And the next part, and there's a lick right there. And then we go back into the. Now we're into the second verse. The second verse is just like the first verse. We got the 16th note pattern on the G string, or the F, E string, G note. chorus. I'm going to slow it down this time. G minor. This is. So when I do that, I go back in and they're saying Creatures of the Night again. We're going from that D sharp to F. So it's going to hold on the F, going back to D sharp, and that's where this lick is played. So it's it's a tough lick. The fingering's awkward. Back into the G sharp again. So let's go over that fill. So it's basically we're going to start it on the 8th fret of the D string. So 8th fret, 10th fret of the D string. And then we're going to go to the G string and play 8, 7. We're playing 8, 7, back to the D on the 10th fret. Then we're going to do a pull off. So I'm just, pulling off all those 3 notes I'm playing there. I'm only striking the string one time. Those 3 notes are going to be 10th fret of the G, 8th fret of the G, 7th fret of the G. So we have. We're going to go to the D string, play the exact same thing, 10, 8, 7. So I'm just striking that note once. That's what we have so far. From there, when we pull off, and you're going to grab that with your pinky, that 10th fret of the A string, and then you're going to grab the A sharp on the low E. So it sounds like this. Try to see if I can play it with speed. Back into that 16th note pattern on the low E. So, moving along, we're going to go to the chorus. So we're going to say we're, in the chorus. So that part we're doing a little fill there, which is going to be 3rd fret of the A, 5th fret of the A, 6th fret of the A, and then A sharp, 6th fret of the low E. So we have. It sounds kind of like a pinch harmonic. I am there. I'm basically striking the string and letting the flesh of my thumb hit. So instead of just gonna, you get a. Sounds kind of, it's got a little more grease on it or something. And you can do a little vibrato on that. And then from there we go back into the G sharp. Bridge. So from here, we're doing more, instead of we're doing an 8th note pattern. So from here, we're just on the 1st finger, you're taking and you're muting the F note. So the 2nd guitar, I think, is pretty much just riding that note. Those 8th notes. But here, we're going to be 3rd finger on the 10th fret of the G, pinky finger is going to be on the 11th fret of the B. So we get. And you want to play those 2 strings together as a chord. Now if I shift my pinky up 1 fret, so I've got my 3rd finger and pinky finger on the 9th fret, or excuse me, 10th fret of the G and B. We have, so you can kind of see I'm hitting in between. I'm pivoting back and forth from that muted F. So when we come back from the second time around, we've got our first finger barred across the 8th fret, so all 5 strings are being barred. So you want to keep it that way. It's kind of like an anchor. Now I'm going to take my finger, my pinky finger or my 3rd finger, and I'm going to grab the 10th fret of the high E, and I'm going to play this, which is going to be barred up here. So you're fretting the 8th fret of the B and the 10th fret of the high E. So it sounds like this. And then we shift up from here. We're playing these perfect fourths. So it's the first one's going to be on the 10th fret, D and G strings. Again, I've got my first finger barred across the 8th fret, so I can grab it here. Now we're going to play that little major 3rd interval. So we got, that's basically the chord part of that riff. Second part. So that's played on the 7th fret of the G, 8th fret of the D. So we have, and we repeat it again. So I'm going to play it all the way through slow. Doesn't sound so good. Play that slow. Let's play up to speed. Now from here, we're going to grab in the C sharp and then go into the D sharp, and we repeat it all again. C sharp's going to be 4th fret of the A, 6th fret of the D. Back to our D sharp, and back to the riff again. Hold that again on the C sharp. And then we're going to the D. And then we stop it because this is the beginning of the guitar solo. So from underneath the guitar solo, this is what's being played, is the G minor up here again. So we're going. And then we're going back to that F. So. Back to that D sharp again, and then to the F, and then we're back into the 3rd verse. Everything goes again, and then we do. And this part is a little bit longer, as he says "creatures of the night" several times. Again, repeats. One more time. And then we're back to the D sharp. From there, there's that lick again. Okay, now I'll show you that lick here in a second, but the rhythm guitar is doing that. So when you stop that note, that's going to be a A-sharp power chord to a G. So, and this time, instead of just stopping on that A-sharp on the low E, we're going to go and end on the low E, 3rd fret of the low E. Whew. Okay, So we got all the rhythm guitar parts and some of the fills in, all the fills actually, and we'll get ready to go over the intro guitar solo and the middle guitar solo. Intricate guitar solo. So the very first part, so we go into that rhythm. So that's a. So you're double picking. It's all on the 15th fret. Starts with the high E, and then so 2 picks down up, high E, 15th fret of the B. When you hit this note, which is going to be the 15th fret of the G, just hit it one time, and then you're going to do the dive bomb with the bar. So let's play that slow. One more time. Back into the rhythm. That didn't sound very good. Okay, so from here we're just doing a slide from the 5th fret to the 3rd fret to the 5th fret on the D string, and then we're grabbing the 3rd fret of the G. We're doing a slow bend on the C note on the 5th fret of the G. So it's, and basically I'm tapping my middle finger or first finger on the 8th fret of the G. Let's play that again. And I'm doing some vibrato up here with my left hand. And then, basically we go back into, that's when we lead into the 16th note pattern. So let's play that again, slowly. Okay, so now let's go into the middle guitar solo. So as we're basically sitting on this C sharp, D sharp, and then we end on the D chord, and then we get a. So with that, these are harmonics. So if you lay your first finger across the fret, not in the middle of the fret, actually across the fret, and then dive bomb on the trembling bar, you get a really cool effect. So it's. Now from here, we're doing another slow bend. This is the C note. It's going to be on the 5th fret of the G, so we have a. And then it bends again. And we do that same tap in the same place as we did in that intro lick. So we have. Okay, from here we're going to go to the 8th fret of the D string and do a half bend, which a half bend is just going to be 1 fret, so it goes. That's hard lick, so we do that little. So let's play what we have so far, and I'll get to that little hard lick in a second. Okay, so when we do the little half bend here on the B string, we're playing this. The hard lick is from the 6th fret of the high E to the 3rd fret, so we're going down up picking, and then we're going to do a pull off from the 6th fret to the 5th fret, and then we're going to grab that 6th fret, which is, oh gosh, what note is that? That's an F note. So we have this much so far. And then we're pulling off, so that's going to be the pull off from the 5th fret of the G to the 3rd fret of the G. And then we're going to grab that G note on the D string. When we come back to that, you can come back to the 3rd fret of the G and 5th fret. So we have this slowly. So 5th fret of the D, 3rd fret of the G, 5th fret of the G. So I'm doing a full bend, and I'll let it all the way back down, pull off to the 3rd fret of the G, and then get an open G. So you're pulling off, so pulling the finger down on the 3rd fret to an open G string. Okay, let's play through what we have so far. And that just makes a terrible sound. I'm sorry about that. Look at that tremolo, something's going on there. So when we come off of that, tighten that a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so when we come off that, we're diving with the tremolo bar, and I'm going to slide in with my middle finger to the 12th fret of the G. And it's, so I don't actually have to fret this note, this G note on the G string, so I'm just, and we're pivoting back and forth from the G and B string here. So we got a 11th fret, back to the G on the 12th fret, 10th fret of the B says. And then we go, that's going to be 12th fret of the G, 10th fret of the, 12th fret of the D, 10th fret of the G, 12th fret of the G. So we're going to grab 13th fret on the B, back to the G, 12th fret of the G. And then we're going to do a pull off from 11, 10 on the B string. Let's play what we have so far on that dive bomb. Now from here we're going to go all the way down to the 18th fret of the B and do a little, so it's a little blues note, blues pattern lick here, and that's a full bend with some quick vibrato, and that's just going to be that lick. It's going to be 13th fret of the high E, 18th fret of the B, 15th fret of the B, and that's going to be a pull off, or you could pick it. And then you're going to stop on the 17th fret of the G. So, okay. Now that last part is the last part of the lick. We're going to slide into that 17th fret on the G string. So we got 17, 15 on the B, 18 on the B, back to the 15th on the B. And then we're on the 20th fret on the high E. So if I can grab that right, and that's just a bend up, and then use your tremolo bar to get the vibrato. I'm going to go through all of it really slow again, okay? So we have